This one is such a hidden gem. Let's do it. Anything for Jackson is about this older couple named Audrey and Henry Walsh who are grieving the loss of their grandson Jackson. Henry is a doctor, and at the beginning of the movie, we see them kidnapping his pregnant patient Shannon and tying her up in their house. Because it turns out they are Satan worshippers, and they have this plan to perform a reverse exorcism on Shannon so that their grandson Jackson can be reborn through her unborn baby. So they have obtained this ancient book that is thousands of years old from Jerusalem, and they paid a shit ton of money for it. So they use the book, they perform the ritual, which they think will put Jackson in Shannon's unborn baby. And then they just wait for Shannon to give birth. But weird shit starts happening to them immediately. Henry sees this apparition that he thinks is his wife, but when it turns around, it is this old woman with no teeth who is like violently flossing at her gums. It's fucking disgusting. Audrey is haunted by this apparition of this kid dressed as a ghost, which is the spirit that is pretending to be their daughter, because turns out their daughter was always a ghost for Halloween. And eventually they reveal to Shannon that their daughter was also in the car accident that Jackson was in. And though she didn't die in the accident, she couldn't deal with losing her son, so she offed herself. Shannon sees this really creepy, contorting man that has a plastic bag over his head. And one day, Henry witnesses their handyman Rory become possessed and throw himself into a wood chipper. On top of all this, Henry one day is confronted by Detective Bellows, who is investigating Shannon's disappearance. Henry makes up a bogus story, and you can tell the detective is super suspicious of him, so one day she shows up at the house. She discovers Shannon being held hostage, and she holds Henry and Audrey at gunpoint. But before she's able to help in any way, she becomes possessed and turns the gun on herself and pulls the trigger. So Audrey and Henry at this point obviously know that something has went very wrong, and they reach out to Ian, who is another cult member of the satanic cult that they're a part of. Ian examines the book and tells the couple that their translation of the ritual was wrong. And what they actually did was unleash this demon that unlocks the doorway of tortured souls. So now all the ghosts that they're seeing are these ghosts and spirits from purgatory that are fighting to come back to life. And they all want to possess a human host, so they are fighting to be Shannon's baby. Ian tells them that he can complete the ritual properly, but at a cost. And that cost is, in order to get Jackson back, they would have to trade another life for his. So of course, Shannon is completely unaware of this, but they are planning on trading hers. So Ian returns to the house the next day, but we can see that he's become increasingly disturbed since learning about this book. And as Ian is performing this ritual, Henry gets a call from Yolanda, who is kind of like the leader of their satanic cult. She tells him to be on the lookout for Ian because he murdered his mother the night before and the cops are looking for him and he's absolutely lost his fucking mind. So Henry tries to warn his wife about this, but in the chaos and the distractions of this, Shannon manages to break free from her restraints and attack them. And on top of that, all the ghosts that have been haunting them are now coming into the room. And then Ian turns around and stabs Audrey in the stomach, making her the sacrifice for the demon to be reborn. But then Ian is attacked and offed by this new ghost, and he's dragged away from the room. So Shannon has freed herself at this point, and she's going to run out of the room, and she tries to get Henry to come with her. But Henry is sitting there with his wife's body completely distraught. And before he even knows what's going on, he's attacked by another ghost and offed as well. So Shannon witnesses this. She's standing there absolutely fucking horrified. And the contorting ghost with the bag over his head once again attacks her. Shannon manages to flee, but as she's trying to get out of the house, she encounters all the ghosts that we've seen the whole movie, including the detective, including Rory, including the ghost, and including the disgusting toothless woman. So a struggle ensues as they're all trying to attack her because, again, they all are looking for a human host. But ultimately, she is able to escape and she gets in the couple's car and she drives away. As Shannon is driving away, she looks up and sees this demonic figure in the road crossing into the woods. And she looks down and realizes that her water broke, and the movie ends, leaving us completely wondering about what her baby is going to be.